I'm Greg Lehman, and I built this house. I decided to build this house because back when I was in school, I was an art major and felt like I wanted to build my own house handcrafted from all raw materials. This house is different than other houses because the walls are made out of straw bale and some are made out of clay. The house itself has tree trunks as posts, which are round inside the house, and the rest of the frame is all built with rough sawn wood from a local sawmill. Many of the materials in this house are from close by. They're local materials. Some of the tree trunks, about 10 out of the 24 posts, were actually harvested on site. All the rest of the posts came from within 15 miles. The fieldstone, some of it's from a farm a couple miles down the street, some's from a farm about 10 miles away. Some of the straw bales actually came from a farm a quarter mile away. So all this stuff in the house, we tried to focus on using local materials. Aside from the straw bales and other obvious elements of this house that are green, there are also many other green parts of the house. We have a tankless hot water heater, most of the windows are triple pane, and we have a lot of non-toxic finishes used on all the interior parts. This house is designed to be very compact in its layout. This means fewer materials and less space to heat. Building a house this way from all natural materials is very labor intensive. I was lucky enough to have a lot of help from my dad and also my mom. This project was rewarding for me because I got to handcraft a lot of every different part of the house, and that, as an artist, for me, that was very rewarding. While this project took a lot longer to build than I thought, it actually is a great house to live in now. I would encourage other people to take on the project that's custom and green. However, make sure you take on something of a size you can handle.
It's time now for the Tool Shed, where we talk about home improvement, ownership, and DIY projects. The Tool Shed is brought to you in part by the Glass Doctor of Michiana with 3 locations in South Bend, Goshen, and Elkhart, and by Penny Seeger's Remax Results. Real estate that makes sense. Now here is your host, the king of tools, Warren Seegers, along with Penny Seegers for that extra curbside appeal. Now sit back and enjoy this week's show.
And welcome into the Tool Shed. I'm Warren.
And I'm Penny.
And we're late, as usual. Brand new equipment.
It would be no fun if we weren't late.
We're so unpredictable. Yeah, we got brand new equipment, which is really cool. It's nicer, I think.
Yeah.
I like it a lot better, but, you know, there's a learning curve to everything. So
I let you do the learning curve, and I just follow.
Yeah. So, it's a big night tonight. Because we are going to give away, matter of fact,
I'll let you reach for it.
We're giving away $250 towards a brand new floor from Pro Source Wholesale here in Mishawaka. And you don't even have to live here in the area to win this because
they're nationwide.
They're nationwide, so they can make sure that you can pick out your flooring from any store that is local, and then they will send it to the store here, and you'll get your floor. So $250. We'll tell you how you can do it, and that'll be in later on in the show. But you're going to talk to today.
I'm going to talk to Kim Baker of Ruoff Mortgage, and we're going to talk about for sale by owners. So a lot of times as a real estate agent, buyers don't always want to use a agent, and they think they're saving money that way. Well, it's not necessarily the case, honestly, because there's a lot of paperwork. There's a lot of paperwork that goes with that, and it's the seller that pays the agent's commission, not the buyer. Right. And so it really makes a lot more sense for the buyer to use an agent to do that paperwork. And I'm going to talk to Kim about why, from a lender standpoint, it's not good for a buyer to do their own paperwork.
Right. So how do you know so much about for sale by buyer?
Okay, I don't know, baby, because I work for Remax.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a good real estate agent, give Penny a call, 574-849-7076. Just had to get that in there.
Absolutely.
And if you need windows repairs, the Glass Doctor.
Or any kind of glass repairs. Yeah. It's not just windows. Glass Doctor does... They do, shower doors,
car windows,
anything glass.
Yeah.
Glass Doctor.
We highly recommend the Glass Doctor, not only because he's a sponsor of our program, but he has done a lot of work for us, and I wouldn't go anywhere else. But high quality work, I always like how they do things. So anyway, what's going on tonight again? We're giving away that
$250.
I lost it. I lost the check already. Gosh darn it! $250 towards a new floor from Pro Source of Michiana. Actually, South Bend. Michiana's just a habit because of both states.
But it doesn't have to be in South Bend.
No, it doesn't. It could be anywhere here in the U.S. and you'll just have to go to a local chain by you. They're all over the place. They got a lot of stores.
Yep.
And then you'll be talking to Kim Baker
from Ruoff Mortgage about.
So why don't we go ahead and take our break, and we're going to get right into this show. And you're actually coming back on
The She Shed, which is a new set.
Yes.
Which felt very weird to be on that side of the studio, but it was interesting.
So I guess I should explain this first too. So normally we would do the whole show here in the tool shed, the man cave. But Penny and I are now going to be, she's getting her guest for a show. I get my guest for the show. She interviews her guest in the She Shed. I interview my guest in the tool shed. So, anyway, that's the way it's going to go. Maybe next time we'll start over in a tool or in the She Shed.
Well, it depends on the guests that we get. We still have to, get some guests for next month. So
I actually know next month I'm going to get someone in here, a professional that is going to talk about blow insulation, and that was upon the request of one of our viewers.
Oh, nice!
Yes.
Very good, nice. I hadn't even thought of that, but yeah, right around spring is probably the good time to do that in preparation for, the following seasons.
Right. Well, she asked me a question, because you can, as a DIYer, do your own blow insulation. I wouldn't recommend it because there's a learning curve to blowing that stuff up in the attic to get it all level and proper thickness and stuff like that. So I myself would not recommend doing blow insulation in an attic. I mean, you can, but it can be really expensive if you don't get it that right levelness and it's piled up over here and too thin over here. So I'm actually going to call one of the professionals in our area, and we're going to talk about blow insulation and probably why it's better to call a professional than do it yourself. So other than that, so stay tuned. $250 to give away towards a brand new floor. Penny will be talking to Kim Baker from Ruoff Mortgage, and we will be right back after this on the Tool Shed.
Call the Glass Doctor. Call the Glass Doctor, we'll fix your paint. Oh yeah!
House for sale!
Home for sale.
Home for sale.
Home for sale. Home for sale.
We've got a home!
Available now.
Hi, welcome back into the Tool Shed. I'm Penny Seegers. Hey, I want to tell you about the giveaway that we're giving for Pro Source with the $250 flooring. So we briefly touched on that in the earlier segment, but we're going to keep giving you more information as we go along. So stay tuned. Be aware while we're doing that, because that is $250 for flooring is like nothing to sneeze at. So we're really, really super excited about that. Today I have my guest, Kim Baker from Ruoff Mortgage. We're going to talk about for sale by owners. For sale by owners are one of those things that a lot of people will list the house as a for sale by owner. They think they're just cutting out the realtor, don't want to pay the realtor fees. But honestly, a for sale by owner from a buyer side, it's not always really good because the paperwork may not be done right. They may not know things about inspections, things like that. So there's a lot of ins and outs, but a lot of people don't know that it's actually not real great for the lenders either, because it can create a lot of problems for lenders, title companies, but we're going to talk about how the stuff it causes for lenders. So,
well, thanks for having me, Penny. Yeah,
absolutely.
I've had a couple actually for sale by owner transactions recently, and yes, we've run into a couple snags that normally you guys as realtors are the ones helping and really helping somebody through those processes. And it's very apparent that that's lacking when there's not a realtor involved. So I can think of an example. Recently, I had right on closing day, the seller didn't want to pay for any of the fees that are incurred at their side of the transaction on the closing, and it really caused a big rift between buyer and seller, even though they were friendly. Obviously, they knew each other because they worked together directly, and they didn't think they were responsible for any of the fees, like preparing the deed. There's title company charges that are seller driven, and that they're actually in the contract that are written. And so there's a big confusion as to who's agreeing to what when there's not realtor representation.
Yeah, because if the contract isn't written correctly and they don't understand it, then that can create real issues down the road. And you are right. I've had one with the for sale by owner as well when I was on the buyer side, and the seller did not understand any of the costs that were actually theirs. So they thought they were paying things for the buyer, and I had to explain to them that they were not. Those were the seller incurred cost.
Yes.
So,
and what happened, unfortunately, for my buyer, my borrower, is that it was a last minute misunderstanding, and the seller was basically willing to walk away over, it was several $100s, almost $1,000 that he wasn't willing to pay. So the borrower ended up footing the bill. We had to have a last minute addendum created stating this, and it was more expensive for the buyer. So, but again, and it came on closing day, so it just made that much more stressful, and everybody had to jump through a lot of hoops to make it happen.
When you see contracts that come in from for sale by owners, are they even remotely similar to the ones that you get when it's a realtor? Because I've kind of heard that before too, that they're not, the contracts not only are not filled out right, but they're lacking a lot of very key information.
They're generally very vague as far as specifying fees, dates, things like that. So that was the case for my borrower, that the seller thought they were going to be walking away with X dollars, didn't think there was going to be any expenses to completing the transaction. And these were not loan expenses. These are about legally transferring the ownership of the property from them to the new owner. That is generally a seller's responsibility. Just like when you sell a car, you don't make a buyer get the title.
Right.
And, you provide the title and properly execute the transition, and that's the responsibility of a seller. And generally their documents don't get very precise, and that's where confusion comes in, and that's where, misunderstandings lead to unhappy transactions, and just isn't as smooth as everybody would hope it to be.
I know in my case, the one that I had where the seller was not aware of the fees that were theirs, it was a pretty good chunk, and a big portion of that was because of the tax proration. So a lot of people, if you aren't in the industry and you don't know the ins and outs, you don't know that we prorate the taxes in Indiana. So the buyer actually gets a credit for the taxes that the seller will still owe on the house, because we pay the taxes a year behind. So, if you're somebody that had rented a home or didn't have a lot of exemptions on your home, those taxes could be hefty, and that's going to be a pretty big chunk of a credit that you're going to give to your buyer. And the buyer deserves that, because the buyer is not responsible for the past year's taxes on the home.
Yeah, not through closing day. Usually whoever owned the home previously takes responsibility for any tax burden through the day of closing. And you're right, that is a big contention because of Indiana being in arrears. Other states also prorate, it's just not a year plus, that is as big of a credit.
Right.
The other issue we run into on me as the lender side is I find that there's a lot of advice that my borrowers need as far as who should I have inspect the property, what inspections are going to be required, and those are things that their agent would 100% take care of for them. And they would also, when the results come back of these inspections, help them interpret them, help them to ask for what's needed and what's most important, and not get taken advantage of, and be fair. And those are where I see a lot of lacking. And unfortunately, my buyers are in the position where they're having to make those choices and decisions on their own. And some people aren't from the area; they don't know who to turn to, and so they're winging it. And it's not really in my wheelhouse as the lender to be able to say, talk to this person or that person. It's just not. I'm looking out for their best rate, their best loan program, making everything move smoothly with the loan process. I'm not usually involved in anything that has to do with inspections unless it affects the loan.
Right. Well, in FHA, I mean, there's certain loans that the inspections and the loan go hand in hand. Like the loan can't even close if those inspections are done. So,
Absolutely.
If you're not aware of the inspections that are going to have to be done for your loan, because I mean, that's something that even though I'm not a lender, I find myself explaining that to buyers a lot, which is, the difference between a required repair for the loan to actually be funded and a repair that, they can ask their seller to do, but that's all negotiable. So there are, two different types of repairs. Sometimes, I mean, they're the same repair, but sometimes it has different connotations.
It might be required. Yeah, on FHA, they're very driven on what makes the home safe. So is the roof in a safe condition? Is the well and septic running, is it safe for someone to live in? Is there lead-based paint in the home that needs to be addressed? There are certain issues that it's all regarding safety. Are there handrails leading to the basement? These are not being nitpicky. They're just strictly being safe, and it is responsibility of the seller to deliver a safe home to the borrower so that FHA can stand behind that loan. Yeah.
So if you're not able to discern those two things, and for sale by owner might have been I'm sold as is, which means it may not even be an FHA qualified house. So you might go through the whole process and then not, be able to even get it. So
Absolutely. So it's a big purchase. It's a major investment. It's a wise idea to have someone in your corner fighting for you. And that's what a realtor is doing. I'm going to get you the best loan, but you need an agent to get you the best overall bang for your buck when it comes to your investment.
Well, awesome. All right. Well, we are just about out of time. Is there any other little points that you want to make sure that you make? Okay,
No.
I think. Yeah.
Call me if you have questions.
Right. All right. So, again, thanks, Kim, for coming in, talk about for sale by owners. If you guys have any questions, Kim Baker from Ruoff can help you with the loans. And, of course, I can help you with questions on the realty side. So, again, ProSource, we are giving away that $250 flooring. So if you stick around, we're going to tell you what you need to do to be in the running to win that. So, and we'll be right back on the Tool Shed.
Call the Glass Doctor. Call the Glass Doctor, we'll fix your paint. Oh yeah!
House for sale.
Home for sale.
Home for sale.
Home for sale. Home for sale.
We've got a home.
Available now.
And welcome back into the Tool Shed. I'll tell you what, this next segment is going to floor everybody. Literally, floor everybody, because with me, I have Josh and Derek, who are with ProSource of South Bend, and it is a huge showroom of flooring.
We are here for you.
There we go. Oh, man, I got to come up with one? No. Yeah. That's good. So tell me about ProSource of South Bend. Tell me about the store.
I'll let you take that.
So we are, locally we've been here for about 21 years. We are one of many, about 156, 160 stores nationwide. So they're all franchise owned. The biggest thing for us to kind of understand, or for everyone else to understand, is we have the backing of a big national account and brand.
Okay.
But within each store, specifically with us here in South Bend, you're going to get more of a like mom and pop feel where you're going to have more one-on-one interactions with our team that we have here at ProSource.
Who are your clients? Is it just anybody?
So for us, it's more of anybody that's in the trade.
Okay.
So a lot of your home builders, property managers, your designers, your anybody that's dealing with, not just a DIY at home. Now,
right.
Now those obviously our members have their clients that they can send in and through their membership kind of thing. But our membership, we don't charge for it at our store. It's in the national brand and the bigger stores, they probably charge a yearly fee.
Okay.
With us, we don't have to. We're in a smaller city. So, but yeah, we deal with everybody that's in the trade that can basically it's their living. Is what they're doing every day.
I know you have a huge showroom.
Yes.
We do.
How many square feet and how much stuff do you have in there?
It's about 16,000 square feet.
Uh-huh.
Which is funny because we're in like an industrial L-shaped building ourselves.
Okay.
So when you walk in, you don't think it's that big because we're in the corner of it,
okay.
in the elbow. But yeah, it's basically 2 rooms. We carry everything you can put on a floor. Carpet, tile, laminate, vinyl plank, wood, bamboo. I mean, the options are...
Probably every flavor you want
exactly.
in the ice cream store, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Awesome. So you have some products that you brought along.
Yep. So us locally, because all the franchises are locally owned, so we actually chose because of COVID to stock a lot of products because obviously everything overseas was being delayed. People want their stuff right now because they're sitting at home.
Yeah.
So we ended up stocking. We have kind of a program that goes like good, better, best, premium.
Okay.
So our carpets, we stock I think 5 of those, and then LVPs we have about 18 right now of different LVPs, 5 in each category.
Okay.
So the ones we brought today, basically carpet-wise, we have one that's got a lot of grays and browns in it.
Okay.
It's most popular color because you can match any furniture with it. What they do with carpet is there's nylon and polyester. Polyester is easier to clean, and nylon's more durable. So that's kind of how we sell it.
So is that like a Scotchgard? Is that even a thing still?
So Scotchgard it's basically Scotchgard is put on every carpet now.
Oh, okay.
It used to be where it was just certain ones, and they branded the Scotchgard real big.
It's evolved from there. Every carpet, has what people think is a Scotchgard. There's a protective.
Some kind of protection.
Yep.
Okay. So, and then you were talking about good, better, and best. What's the difference between good, better, and best?
So ounce weight is what it gets into, is kind of how they rate it, which is kind of the, if you think of like the thread count on sheets.
Okay.
Where this one, for instance, is a 60 ounce. This one's like a 65 ounce. They're really similar. If you think of an apartment carpet that everybody knows about, you're talking more of a 20 ounce. So you got that difference of, a thickness and everything. And then you would put a pad underneath, which a lot of people, what they choose to do is they spend more money on their carpet, less money on their pad, where you actually want to do the opposite of that. You always want to put your money in the pad and then get a decent carpet.
Awesome.
But leads into hard surface.
Okay.
Because that's kind of the new trend right now is what's called vinyl plank.
Yep.
And it's got a couple different names, LVT, LVP, different acronyms that people use, but it's basically all vinyl, so it's waterproof, which is the huge thing. All of them nowadays come with a pad attached. There's very few that you can glue down if you do like commercial setting, something like that. But then there's difference in these where there's what's called SPC and WPC. Kind of goes the same thing back to the carpet fibers where SPC is more durable. It's a denser core, and WPC is more of a comfort. So and I'm not going to say night and day difference like you're going to make these huge, but if you walk on it, you can feel it.
Right.
So like on these, I don't know if the camera can grab it. We'll spin it this way. So if you put these side by side, the thicker one over here is going to be a WPC, and then the one over here is going to be an SPC.
Okay.
So a lot of different cores to it, and then you get flooring's very situational. So it's if you have kids running around, there's still laminate out there, won't scratch. If you have like this vinyl plank is real big for basements because of the water waterproof on it. So that's a big thing. A lot of people still do carpets in bedrooms because of comfort. So it's
So if you're putting this on in a basement, would you have to seal the floor first and then put this right on the cement?
You do not. The best thing, you don't have to do any of it.
Oh, okay.
But what is recommended, anything below grade, and you are putting, say, a luxury vinyl plank down, is putting a visqueen or a plastic over your concrete.
Okay.
And that's just to help. It's pennies to the dollar of the whole project that you're working on to help anything that would come from below grade
up and through.
to help stop between that issue and your product.
Tiles. I've seen which I believe it's gaining popularity right now, but the ceramic tiles that look like actual wood planks.
Yes.
Are you selling a lot of those? Is that the next up and coming thing, or is it just a flash in the pan?
flooring's really weird because flooring has these trends that people get on, right? And it's not just with colors; it's with actual material as well. I feel like tile wood planks is kind of a especially if somebody lives on a lake, you know, it's very popular because they legit look like real wood. I mean, their prints on them are very good. Yeah. Exactly. And it's a lot of I don't want to say upper scale homes, but a lot of it, you know, because tile is your most impervious to, you know, anything scratching. You're paying for that. I mean, that's the reason why it's hard to install. You pay for that. You pay for the product is usually a little bit up there in price.
It's probably on the higher end of install. Exactly. That you're going to do for all the products that you have because of all the prep work that's needed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I do see, you know, we do a lot of porcelain. Right now, the big size is 12 by 24s. And then the planks are real big too with, they're coming back where they're like 6 by 48s. And there's even, not necessarily wood looks, but tiles that are 24 by 48s or 32 by 32s. I mean, they're getting massive.
So even with this, if it wasn't a new home build, and you were ripping up the carpet, I mean, the most you would have to do is make sure you get all the tacks and nails and everything out of the floor, and then you just lay this down.
And then just make sure it's level.
Make sure it's level, and so you might have to use a little fill or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Which you would with almost any floor.
Yeah, exactly. That is awesome. Well, we're running short on time, but I know everybody's been waiting for the big giveaway. We're going to be giving away 200. Actually, I shouldn't say we, like all of a sudden I'm in on this.
You're a part of this. Okay. We're doing we.
So we're giving away $250 away to someone who's watching tonight from ProSource of South Bend, $250 towards a new floor in your house. Here's what you have to do. Just go in the comments below this video and say you want to win. And then we're going to take all those people that have done that, going to put them in a big tub, and we're going to have you guys back next month, and we're going to draw a name out, not only one name, but three names.
We got a couple.
Because we have some
a couple little
participation ribbons.
Yep. Yeah. Schluter got a couple T-shirts here. There's some of our waterproofing suppliers that we do for the showers.
Yep.
So just a couple nice shirts you can wear around the house while you're doing an install on your new floor.
Yep. So next month we're going to give away the T-shirts first.
Yep.
And then we're going to give away to one lucky viewer this nice big check, $250.
The bank might take it too. I don't know. If they can try.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, that's what you got to do. Just go underneath in the comments here, say that you are interested in a new floor from ProSource, and then we will pull those, and then you guys will make sure that they get their flooring and everything like that.
Yep.
All right.
And if they're in a different state,
yep.
We have, like he said, 156, something like that, stores across the U.S. So if they're in somewhere else that's not Indiana, they can, you know, I'll talk to a manager over at a different ProSource, and we can figure out logistics-wise so they can actually go to a local ProSource and pick out their floor.
There you go. So it doesn't matter if you're in our area or not. It's a United States-wide giveaway. So I would say, anybody that's outside of the United States, not
Hawaii's as far as we go.
Yeah, because I do know we have a lot of viewers in Uganda that actually watch this show.
Nice.
People I met when I was in the Army over there. So sorry, my Ugandan friends.
But if you have a friend you want to tag, that you know.
In the U.S. There you go. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much for coming in tonight and talking the floors.
Thank you for having us.
I was floored with all the information. Anybody got to come back? Anybody?
I don't. We're here for you. That's been my go-to.
All right. Well, that is our show for tonight. Make sure that you register to win the $250 towards a brand new floor. As always, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and make sure you like us and follow us on Facebook. Until next month, DIY until you die.